This Easter, skip the ordinary and whip up something golden with melty, creamy Velveeta cheese. From scalloped potatoes to rich mac and cheese, Velveeta turns every bite into a crowd-pleasing celebration, bringing the extra to the ordinary, transforming simple sides into lip-smacking, satisfying moments. So go on, make it melt, make it craveable, make it indulgent. Velveeta, respect the drip. Visit Velveeta.com/Easter for some recipe inspiration.
LinkedIn is pretty great at a lot of things, like helping you tap into the latest trends and insights in your field. We cannot stop your coworker from tapping her pencil. LinkedIn can help you find new jobs that align with your career goals. We cannot help you find the source of that weird smell in the office fridge. Ew. And while we can't stop your coworkers from bringing their hobbies into the office, LinkedIn can help you bring your career to the next level. LinkedIn is the network that works for you.
Welcome to Smart Clinics, the RPO Symposium presented by Modern Football. Modern Football is built for one job on Friday night. Help your staff see the truth in real time so adjustments happen before halftime. Real-time tendencies, real-time results. If you wait until halftime to start adjusting, it's too late. Modern Football gives you accurate, true, real-time tendencies at the speed of the game. Check them out at modernfootball.com. Smart Clinics are our answer to the typical clinic format. Most clinics give you a wide variety of speakers and topics. Smart Clinics are the opposite. One topic taught with depth. Fewer voices, longer sessions, clear progression, and coaching details you can take back and install. Our keynote speaker featured Joe Moorhead with Sophisticated Simplicity, RPO Run Game. The ticket for the RPO Symposium is just $49 and includes this session plus 17 other sessions. The 15 on-demand sessions are available right now, plus 2 more live sessions still coming. What you're about to hear is just the first 17 minutes of Coach Moorhead's 2-hour session. Across the full talk, he covers more than 50 plays, then fields some excellent questions and shares even more insight into RPOs and coaching. So let's get into it and listen to Coach Joe Moorhead's first 17 minutes of his presentation called Sophisticated Simplicity.
Really excited about this idea. And those that have been signed up, before even tonight's session, there's 15 on-demand sessions. We put together a group of coaches that I personally have either coached against or clinicked with, guys that are actively, doing what we're talking about in this RPO world. So, the idea was to live in this RPO realm, have a couple different perspectives on it, but to really dive deep. And like Keith said, to me, what I've always searched for in my career is, I've watched a ton of, Coach Moorhead's videos, and you try to piece things together. In this particular clinic, you're able to dive deep. You're able to get real answers. It's actual application to this information. We have an awesome lineup. You'll be hearing from, a lot of these guys the next couple nights. And like I said, there's 15 on-demand sessions available to everyone that they can watch at their leisure. Some people have probably watched them to this point, but they're up there for you. And then obviously we've got an absolute home run for a keynote speaker. It's somebody that I personally have learned a lot of football from without ever having met him in person. So I know I got my notebook ready tonight. And so to get this thing off, Coach Moorhead, he's had, all of his stops. He's been successful. UConn, Florida, Mississippi State, Penn State, Oregon. He's the head coach at Akron now. And through the years, what I've noticed from my perspective as an outsider is systems are practical. They're constantly evolving. They center around players and specifically the quarterbacks. And what I've been able to kind of pick up from Coach is that true natural evolution that he has within his game, where each year and each, place he stopped at, it's a little bit different, but it all circles around what he believes in. And I personally think of Coach as the guru and OG in the RPO world. So I'm really excited to listen myself. Excited to have everyone in here. So without further ado, I don't think I missed too many of your stops, Coach Moorhead.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Coach. Certainly want to express my appreciation to Coach Keith and to Coach Caleb for reaching out and asking me to be a part of the RPO Symposium and being a keynote speaker. I don't take that lightly. I'm always very humbled and honored to share my thoughts and insights with the coaching community, because I think, that's part of our mission, and we got to pay it forward. And I do a bunch of clinics every year, and I'm generally asked to speak on RPOs, but I'm definitely not a one-trick pony. We could talk a bunch of different things, but this is kind of my baby. And I know every kind of sector, philosophical branch of offensive football kind of has their followers, quote unquote. You got your air raid guys, you got your pro style guys, you got your single wing guys, you got your triple option guys. And I'm proud to be, as Coach mentioned, hopefully at the forefront of this RPO movement, because I believe in it strongly. And there's a million different ways to skin a cat, and there's a bunch of different ways to score points. But through the years, I've found, and what we'll see in this clinic, that the simplicity and the flexibility and the ability to present a bunch of different looks to the defense, but really keeping it relatively simple and finding a ways to be balanced and get the ball in the hands of your playmakers. I've found that the RPO system has been a big reason why we've had a bunch of offensive success over the years, and consequently, a bunch of team success. So to all the guys who know me, great to talk to you again. For the guys that don't, I am currently the head football coach at Akron. And then you could see all my stops there. 2 years at Oregon as the OC, 2 conference championship appearances there. 2 years at Mississippi State, 14-12. 7-9 in the SEC, 2 Egg Bowl wins, 2 highest rated recruiting classes in school history. And then out of a job, Penn State, conference championship there. And I'm not going to go through all of it. You guys could do that, and a bunch of success in a bunch of other places. So I've been very fortunate, because of the coaches I've been around, and most importantly, the players, to be a part of 5 different conference championships at 5 different schools as a head coach or a coordinator, 9 bowl games, and really have a bunch of fun. And like I said, when you're fortunate to be around a bunch of great head coaches, like I've been in a bunch of different stops, and be the head coach or the coordinator for a bunch of really talented assistants, and see those guys grow and move on to significant roles, and kind of have a tree, and most importantly, play a role in players' lives relative to their development. Number 1 is human beings and people. Number 2 is student athletes. And number 3 is football players. Is kind of cool. And then, certainly as a head coach, a coordinator, a position coach, or the primary recruiter, to have this many guys be drafted and go on and, achieve their dream of playing at the highest level, it's really gratifying. And it's mostly because of their talent. But, our job as a coach is to help elevate. Right? Leadership to me is defined as the ability to guide a person or group of people to achieve things they're not capable of doing on their own. So these guys certainly have the talent, and that's the primary reason. But I think our job is to put the players in position to be successful, maximizing their strengths and minimizing the things they don't do well. And always fun to watch those guys play on Sundays, and kind of just as gratifying to, keep in touch with the guys who maybe didn't get to that level, but have become good husbands, good fathers, good businessmen, good teachers, gone on to be coaches, and really because of the lessons that they learned playing in your program and being a part of your culture. Okay, we're going to dive right into this thing here, because as you guys know, who've been a part of this or may not know, I love doing clinics. I love talking ball. I'm very passionate about it. And every time I set out to do this, I still get butterflies like it's the first day of freshman camp when I was a high school player. And I want this to be the best clinic that you've ever heard. And I've prepared that way. So hopefully everyone here gets their money's worth, because I'm going to pour everything I got into this thing. All right. So the definition of an RPO, kind of as it dates back, started running a base iteration of this system back in 2008 at Akron. A second year as a coordinator there. Went to UConn, where we were kind of hybrid RPO pro style. 50% of the snaps we were in shotgun 11 personnel. And because of the players on our team, the other half was under center, 12, 21, and really 13 personnel. And we were able to line up and whack the ball at you. And then when I took the head job at Fordham, and as the head coach and play caller, at this point you have 51% of the vote, which means you're the majority stakeholder. So, I'm going to say do whatever the hell I want to do on offense. And that's really kind of where the foundation of what we do today was built along with that staff. I had a ton of offensive and team success there. Was fortunate enough to take that thing over to Penn State, where we had a bunch of success there. Taking to Mississippi State as I kind of went through our achievements there, up to Oregon and out of Akron. Okay, so the just kind of, nuts and bolts of it, when you talk about like simplifying it to the, is this: we want to force defenders into making a quick decision. We want to have a fast break mentality. You probably won't be able to tell now. I was, believe it or not, a quarterback and did play baseball in college and basketball in high school, and wasn't a horrible athlete, but did play a lot of hoops. In the fast break mentality of the drill we used to run, which is called 3-on-2, 2-on-1, you always want to have a +1 advantage in the RPO run game system. So we're looking for a fast break mentality of always striving to create 2-on-1s and 3-on-2s. Where we're +1 in the box or +1 on the back end. As Coach Chip Kelly always likes to say, numbers, angles, and grass. We want to force the end man on the line of scrimmage, okay, if it is a first level RPO, to make a choice and decide between tackling the dive or the quarterback, kind of going back to triple option routes there. And then if it's a second or third level RPO, we want the inside backer, the overhang, or the safety to make a decision between playing his run fit or playing his coverage responsibility. So if you were breaking it down to the nuts and bolts, we want to force a defender or multiple defenders into making a quick decision with a fast break mentality, creating a series of 3-on-2s or 2-on-1s, where a first level defender, right, is forced to choose between tackling the dive or the quarterback. And then the second level defender is forced to make a choice between playing his run fit or playing his coverage responsibility.
A quick break to thank our presenting sponsor, Modern Football. Modern Football helps coaches track and tag the game in real time, then delivers the tendencies your staff needs while the game is still being played. Sideline reports keep the booth and sideline aligned, and the platform works on desktop, tablet, and mobile so the whole staff stays on the same page. If you want real-time tendencies and real-time results, check out modernfootball.com. Now, back to the clinic.
Okay. From a quarterback decision-making process on about 95+% of our RPOs, the first thing that we're going to assess is, do we have a free access throw? A lot of people call it a gift, and you never turn down a free gift. I used to say you never turn down a free gift except in recruiting. Now you don't have to say that anymore. Do whatever the hell you want to do. If there's free access or a gift, we're going to take it, just like it's revenue share or NIL. We're going to evaluate the issues, right? Is there a loaded box or is there edge pressure, right? And then have a plan to attack that. Then we're going to identify our post-snap read, whomever that may be, first level RPO, second level RPO, or third level RPO. And then this is the question that the quarterback asks every single time we create a 2-on-1 or a 3-on-2 is, can the conflict defender make the tackle? And I like to add this term, at or near the line of scrimmage. If the conflict defender cannot tackle the ball carrier at or near the line of scrimmage, we're gonna hand the ball off. All right, and we want to gain the yardage because we're +1 in the box. Okay. If the conflict defender can make the tackle at or near the line of scrimmage, we are going to pull, and the quarterback's going to run. We're going to pull, the quarterback's going to run, and then there will be a second phase, or we're going to pull and we're going to throw, and that's if it's a second or third level RPO. So once again, check to see if there's free access. If someone's going to give you a free gift, we're going to take it. We're going to evaluate the issues. Is there a loaded box or is there edge pressure? And have a plan to attack that. We're going to identify our post-snap read or reads. And then once the ball is snapped, we're going to ask a very simple question or series of questions. Can the conflict defender or defenders make the tackle at or near the line of scrimmage? If they cannot, we're going to hand the ball off, because as I once heard someone say relative to defending triple option football, if you don't tackle the dive, it'll never get to the pitch. So ideally speaking, if we're on the first level RPO and they're going to hold and they're going to let us hand the ball off and we're going to get 4 or 5, we'll keep handing that thing off. Now, if they choose to tackle the dive, then we got to have a plan for that, right? We got to pull and run. We got to pull, run, and throw. Or if it's a 6-for-6 second or third level RPO, we're going to go ahead and pull and throw that ball. All right. And the last thing is this. We talk about sophisticated simplicity. I was an English major, went to Fordham, and that was probably above my pay grade from a academic difficulty standpoint. But I did pay attention to learn a little bit. And then this is what I believe. I believe in a system, all right, as opposed to a collection of plays, right? Because a system is defined A system is teachable. A system progresses with the installation, and the system has answers that you're able to identify the problems and fix it, as opposed to a collection of plays where you're kind of just grab bagging and, well, this looks good, that looks good. Let's install this week, coach. Well, let's install this week. Let's install this week because we saw somebody else do it. You've never practiced it. I've never really, been around a system like that, which has been terribly successful. But all that to say, the Occam's razor theory says this: the principle which states of two explanations accounting for all the necessary facts, the simpler one is likely to be correct. And I do believe that as simple as we can keep it, the better opportunity our kids have for successful. And as we had spring practice number 1 today, and I said, our job as an offensive staff relative to scheme is to put our players in position to be successful. From there, our coaches have to be able to teach it in a manner that the players will learn, teaching to the least learner in the room, not the best guy. From there, our players have to be able to learn it, right? And once they're able to learn it, then it's 3 very simple things in practice. Are we competitive? Are we physical? And do we execute? And we will not have a play in our system if it doesn't meet 4 criteria. Is it sound? Can our coaches teach it? And then lastly, and most importantly, can our players learn it and execute it? Okay. So we talk about sophisticated simplicity. All right. And I always try to keep it, as Coach mentioned earlier, keep it fresh, talk about, different things. And I feel like as I've gone through the years, I've done so many of these damn things. I don't like to get repetitive, and I don't like, so I'm like, all right, what can we talk about this time that's something that I haven't done before, but still kind of, talks about now living in that RPO world. And I said, hey, let's do this. I'm going to talk about one formation. So tonight, every single play is going to be run out of what we call trio, which is 3-by-1 attached to the field. We can run 95% of our run game offense out of this one formation, right? There's a couple things that you have to be in 3-by-1 detached to the field. But to me, when you talk about sophisticated simplicity and running a system rather than a connection of plays, that we're going to go through 87 plays here, and every single damn one of them are out of the same formation. And we can line up in this formation and run our entire play game for an entire. Now, I don't think you'd want to do that because there's you find a way to defend this formation. But the fact that we can talk about one formation, that we're going to talk about 5 run schemes, 2 zones, inside and outside zone, some gaps, right? Counter dart, power sucker, and pin and pull, and then one back draw, 5 different run schemes, and then 10 variations off of those, right? Our base concept for inside zone, our cut concept for inside zone, split flow and non-split flow, our fan outside zone concept, our graze concept, our wham concept, right? Our gap, our power sucker, and then our draw. That it really allows you to say, all right, these are the runs we're going to use. And then, okay, these are the variations based on, can our 6 block their 6, or can our 5 block their 6 and have the 6th person be a read. And then we're going to talk about our different RPO tags. All right. So we got our running back tags. We got our 5 for 6 first and second level tags. We got our 5 for 6 second and third level tags. Then we got our 6 for 6 second and third level tags. And then we got our power sucker tags. So one formation, every play that we talk about would be run out of trio. 5 schemes. Are you a zone guy? Okay, we can do this all out of zone. Are you a gap guy? All right, we can do this all out of gap. Or do you run the draw? All right, and then within that, all right, 10 different variations of those plays, the zone, the gap, and the draw, and then 15 different RPO tags. And once again, Coach Kasperowicz, out of Pittsburgh, I know very well, a tremendously successful coach, who won a bunch of state championships. He has visited with us a bunch of times over the years. He referred to this as the Chipotle office, meaning like you go in there and there's not a ton of ingredients to get to pick from, but you can mix and match and kind of put them all together for the best possible combination. And I believe that. Not a ton of ingredients in what we do, but a lot of ways to mix and match to get the best recipe, so to speak. All right. Okay, so right now, I'm actually, as we go through these 87 plays, and I don't know if we're going to get through all 87. Coach Keith and Coach Caleb will cut me when they're tired of hearing from me. This is the progression that we use in terms of the sequence of runs. So base runs, on to the next run, on to the next. So not only are we seeing this relative to one formation, 5 runs, 10 variations, and 15 RPOs, but this is how, as we're going through spring ball, this is how we install this thing too.
That was Joe Moorhead from Smart Clinics, the RPO Symposium presented by Modern Football. If you want the full experience, the ticket is $49 and includes this session plus 17 other sessions. You can start with the 15 on-demand sessions right now, then join us for the 2 remaining live sessions over the next 2 nights. Grab your ticket and get in. And again, thanks to Modern Football for supporting coach education and making this possible. If you want to see what real-time tendencies look like on game night, visit modernfootball.com. The link to Modern Football and the RPO Symposium ticket are in the description. Follow all we're doing at coachandcoordinator.com and follow us on X at Coach K. Grabowski.